In the previous video, we learned what reshaping a data frame means. Now, we start learning how to reshape data frames using the pivot method. The long format is usually the most suitable to store a clean dataset. However, we could want to demonstrate the relationship between columns, or do time series operations with the variables, or any operation that requires columns to be the unique variable. These are situations where we need another format. So, we need a way to convert a dataset from long format, like the one you see in the slide, to a format where we can discover patterns. The pivot method allows us to reshape the data from a long to a wide format. It takes three arguments: index, columns, and values. Let's see how they work. The index argument takes the name of the column we want to have as an index in the new pivoted data frame. In our case, we want the column ER to be our new index. The columns argument takes the name of the column we want to have as each column in the new data frame. In our case, this is the column name. Finally, the values argument takes the name of the column which values we want to populate the new pivoted data frame. In our case, we want the weight column. So, the pivot method will transfer each weight value from the original data frame to the new data frame, where its row and column match the year and name of the original data frame. If the method cannot find a row and columns matching the original data frame, it will set that cell value as a missing value. As an example, we'll have the following long data frame with data about FIFA players' weight and height in metric and imperial systems. If we apply the pivot method, setting the index arguments to the column name, the columns argument to the column variable, and the values argument to the metric system column, we obtain the following pivoted data frame. Height and weight are now the columns, and the player name is the index of the data frame. We could also pass a list of two values to the pivot method. In this case, the resulting data frame have a hierarchical column index with both column names as we see in the example. What if we want to extend the pivot method to all the column values in the data frame instead of just one or two? We can do this easily by omitting the values argument. So, we'll apply the pivot method to the previous FIFA data frame, omitting the values parameter. We see in the code that we obtain the same result as before. The new data frame has the metric and imperial system values. Also, it has a hierarchical column index to distinguish both cases. Passing only index and columns arguments to the pivot method will work in most of the cases. But let's see the following example. Pay attention to the third and fifth row. The values for name and variable are the same, but the value for imperial system is different. We apply pivot method passing only index and columns. Because it doesn't know which of the two values should be the corresponding value, pandas will raise an error. We can choose to delete one of the rows, for example, the fifth row. We can use the drop method, passing the index and setting axis to 0. We now get a pivoted data frame, because no repeated value is found. And now, let's put the pivot method in action.